Over the last 5 years, I've worked countless hours on one single project, my Minecraft Forever World. I've built underground rooms, castles, temples, farms, and a bunch of other kind of weird stuff. But there's one thing that I have never done until now. I want to see what's possible in this world in 100 hours, and to do that, we'll be taking this small remote island and turning it into a huge shrine to celebrate 25,000 subscribers. To get this done, we're going to need a few things. Number 1, a buttload of blocks. Number 2, a location. And number 3, a plan. About that, I suck at planning, but here is the general idea, and it's probably not what you're expecting. We're gonna go up, really high, big mountain stuff, and on top of that mountain, a temple. Original, right? Before you decide, I've got some neat twists and turns to make this project especially nifty, but more on that later. Now, we gotta get collecting because a timer has started and I'm already behind schedule. Alright, so to get us started here, I've gone around and collected all the stray shulker boxes in my world because even after all these years, I still haven't built a shulker farm. It just seems way too annoying. So that took a while. And then I needed to collect the blocks. So luckily, we had a lot of stone from all the digging I've done, and dirt wasn't really an issue either because of all the digging, but other blocks like tuff, basalt, and deep slate and all that kind of stuff were another story. Some of these blocks really aren't fun to collect in their biomes, so I decided to make some farms to expedite the process, and that way for future projects, it'll take less time and I'll just have a bunch of it forever. And now here we are about 5 hours later, and I have finally collected about 20 shulker boxes worth of materials, which probably adds up to just about half of what I'll need when this project is done. But for now, I think this is enough to get building and at least get an idea of what is going on and inspire me to collect the rest later. Our next logical step is to now set up a little base out there so we can sleep and craft in safety while we build. Usually, I just dig a little hole in the ground and hide in it, but this time I have a way better idea and it's a lot cooler. Well, here we are on the SS like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. And you can see the island is a bit far away in that direction because we're gonna need all the room we can get for the expansion. Maybe later I'll end up moving the boat a little closer, but for now, this will do as a little base of operations. And at this point, you might be asking yourself where this is in relation to the rest of the world and builds, and the answer is pretty far. I'll put up the coordinates right now. There's a few reasons for this, and it'll probably make a bit more sense in a few months, but here they are. So number 1, the base area is getting pretty laggy with all of the condensed building, and I want to play with 32 chunk render distance. The second reason is that my Guardian Farm and Pirate Outpost are here, and I'd like to develop this ocean area a little bit more. I think it could be really fun. And the third most important reason is look at these cool mountains. Well, so far, we have done quite a bit of yapping and not much real progress on this project. We're probably about 10 hours in if you count like the editing and the building of the ship and all of that. And we're still dealing with this tiny little speck of land in the middle of the ocean. So while I spam dirt blocks around, let's talk about the inspiration and main driving ideas behind this build. The architecture fans among you might know a little place in London called St. Paul's Cathedral. Its iconic dome, which rises above the city, and intricate details inside have inspired many, including a bunch of really cool Minecraft builders. I've had this planned for ages, and I'm so excited to build it in my world. And of course, there are many better builders than me that have done their own versions, but I've got something none of the others have. Pure, utter incompetence. And just to drive that last part home, I've decided to completely start over. Even after designing for hours, I decided I wasn't happy with the way the build was going, so I threw it out and went with something completely different. But that's okay, and there totally aren't a bunch of holes in the drywall of my office right now. But anyways, honestly, it's probably for the best. I'd rather admit defeat now and start over than try to make something work. And all in all, this cost me about 12 hours, which is unfortunate. Now, I did want to show you guys something a little bit funny about this world before we keep going. So I was actually flying around earlier, just kind of looking at the area and trying to see if there was some cool stuff not too far away. And I actually ended up finding our like outpost for the wild update that came out a few years ago. So basically this is actually the world spawn, and that's because this used to be a server with some friends, and when the wild update came out, I decided to make a little outpost and set the spawn here so that people could make their way out to the new stuff and not be stuck in the old stuff having to go thousands of blocks. Anyway, the new mountain looks a lot more better and fits the theme of dark and cool that I was going for way more than the old version. Did I just say more better? I've laid out the groundwork, but now it's time to make a decision which will heavily impact the rest of my weekend. Do I go all in and build the tower, or spend more time building the terrain up and making it look like it belongs here? Because right now, it kind of looks like a big wet fart. Well, I guess I kind of just answered my own question there. It looks like we'll be terraforming for the next little while to hopefully turn this island, this pudgy little gross black island, into something way more dramatic and visually interesting, something that invites you in and makes you want to explore it. Now, to get it looking this way, I think we can do it in a few simple phases. Phase 1, the foundation. Looks like we already have a pretty decent one set up here. I'm just gonna have to clean up the grass that we don't need, and maybe just like a few of the walls, make them go into the water a little bit. Right now it's just floating on the top layer. And the next phase are the larger details. So to me, this includes things like boulders and paths and stuff like that, and other elements that will block out large portions of the main foundation. In this case, I was thinking of making some spires laid around the island to block out the boring flat bits, and it'll also give the impression that there are things that can't be seen without exploring it, which is way more inviting for you to run around and go and look at it. And we'll probably even end up putting some little secrets and little caves and stuff behind these spires. And that brings us to the third phase, which is the most exciting one, movement. This one I've never really attempted before, but let's give it a try. Big old waves crashing into the rock sides here of these cliffs, which is what is shaping them in the way that they are. So I looked at a bunch of pictures of lighthouses, and I looked at a bunch of pictures in Minecraft, and there's nothing that I could really use. So what do I do when I don't know how to make something? I go ask my friend, Sierra Tequila. She actually ended up customizing some world edit brushes and kind of showing me how to build it, and I ended up using it, and it worked out super duper good, as you can see here. I think it adds so much life to this. The only unfortunate part is the amounts of trips I had to make back to the base to go get more glass. This was super expensive. And that should hopefully bring you up to speed on where we are at now. Obviously, there's still a lot to do, but I think to do the rest of the terraforming, we're gonna have to put in some of the build, because right now, this looks like the worst volcano ever. And it's not even supposed to be a volcano, so we definitely have a lot of work to do. And I think the first thing that we're gonna attack is this hole in the front here. You might be asking yourself, Eco, why is there a big gaping hole in the front? That makes no sense, and it's really ugly. What are you gonna put there? Well, fret not, my friend, for I have some great ideas that I'm going to be building here in the style of a Roman aqueduct. Let's go check it out. An architectural marvel, often built with stone, brick, and concrete. Elevated arches supported water channels, allowing them to cross valleys and uneven terrain while maintaining a steady flow of water to cities. Some aqueducts featured multiple levels of arches for added height and capacity, showing both practical design and really impressive aesthetics. And that's what we're using them for, aesthetics, because we don't have water problems in Minecraft or the need for aqueducts, but they sure do look pretty cool. So I asked my friend Wolgamir to help me build some, and he graciously lent me a project that he's working on, and I modified it to my needs to fit this spot right in front of us here. And so here we are, the very first building of this island, and might I say, it looks pretty friggin' sweet. I am having some issues with my shaders though. I can't get them to look good with the waves. I think the waves look really cool, but they don't really match with the shaders. Hopefully when I put more of them around here, it'll kind of make more sense and look a lot better. And also I'm gonna make these go down all the way to the seafloor. That'll look a lot better. Right now it's just kind of floating still, but that kind of boring stuff I usually save for the end. We are now quite a few hours into this project, I would say. I'll have to check my timer. I'll put it up on the screen right now, but it's getting pretty crazy. And I would like to get some more going here because I realize we're like 10 minutes into this video. Can't fly, hello. 10 minutes into this video, and we still have yet to do anything up here. It still looks like the ugliest volcano of all time. And here we are. Phase 1 is complete. As you can see, I'm standing on top of it now. We get a great view of the nifty mountains to the right and the even niftier mountains to the left. Or that's the right and that's the left. I don't know. It depends which way you're looking at it. And you can see just over there, that portal. That is actually the portal I'm using right now. And the Guardian farm is just off a little bit further. The render distance just isn't far enough. I'll have to get like a mod or something to see really far away. But if I take flight, you can see it kind of rendering in over there, all of our other builds. And when I turn around, you get this awesome view of the castle so far, or temple, shrine. I don't know. We'll see when it's done. We'll call it something cool. This is only phase 1, obviously, and now you can maybe sort of start seeing the vision that I was going for. This kind of outpost pillar style. So the base of the mountain is all made of cylinders, which I've shaved and stuff and turned into kind of like a spire with this thing coming out on top. It is looking really cool. I turned off the shaders for now just because I like to build without them. It's a little bit easier. And when I turn them on, you can see it's looking really cool. Now it's time to start phase 2. And I think once we get the second phase up and then maybe even the third one, we're going to be able to do some really cool stuff inside, which is kind of like the meat and potatoes of this build. But we're burning through hours here, and you can see it's getting pretty big, and the hours are dwindling. So I'm going to have to stop talking and start building a lot more. So I started on the second stage, which will make this tower about twice as tall as it is now. And I used pretty much the same blocks, but I added some polished tuff to switch up the gradient a bit and some deep slate bricks for the roof. So now we can finally start on the interior, which is by far my favorite part and my specialty. Only I haven't exactly designed it yet. And I'm pretty excited because the size and shape of this build will lead to hopefully something really interesting and unique. I'm a really big fan of the circles. I don't know why every build I make is a circle these days. And I realize, I've done it again here. So maybe our next one won't be a circle. But anyways, so down here, we did have a big old mob farm, which I've pretty much sort of dealt with. I'll never probably get rid of them. But down here, the idea is I want to put some farms and some interesting redstone contraptions because look at all this room for activities that we have. It's pretty big, and I think we could fit some really neat stuff. Now up here, I've already gone ahead and kind of laid out a pretty basic shape with some tiling on the floor and stuff, and that's because I think the floor here is going to have a nice intricate pattern. I put some room here for some other stuff, which I'll show you in a minute. And you're probably wondering what this big hole in the floor here is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a segue to our sponsor. I am super happy to announce that I have partnered with Apex Gaming PCs. They have a line of custom computers designed for gaming as well as content creation. In particular, I want to take a second and talk about the Apex Streamer, which has a Ryzen 5 7600X, 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and an RTX 4060 Ti, not to mention all the cool RGB that you can customize in the purchasing options. If you're in the market for a new PC, definitely go check them out. The link is in the description. Don't forget to use my 10% discount code ECOLIO when you purchase your computer. It's going to be a new map room because the old one is cool, but it's like 3 years old at this point, and I thought it would be fun to make a brand new one in a darker theme, in a more of a cathedral-esque place. And of course, we have more floors, so I'll show you those. Up here is where I'll have my bedroom and my storage and all of that stuff for this area. And on the very top, we can have maybe a viewer suggestion. I have no idea what to put up here. Something cool, hopefully. So I'm sure one of you will come up with something way better than what I ever could. So we'll just run with that. And this will be a great view of future projects, which I will be putting on this valley here by this mountain, because I love this area so much. And we can actually almost just see the Guardian farm down that way. But anyways, that's for later. All this is for later. Now we need to start working on the first floor here, which kind of looks like crap right now. All I've really done is just line it with stone, and man, is time ever ticking. I honestly, when I first came up with this idea / stole this idea from other people on YouTube, I definitely thought, oh, 100 hours, I can do that in like a month. It'll be super easy. Well, here we are, just about a month later, and we're nearing it, kinda, and I feel like I'm nowhere near done. So anyways, let's jump into it and get this floor pattern done, and hopefully I come up with something cool. And cut to pretty much 12 hours of non-stop tinkering later, I'm still not done. Not even close. So I'm in my, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm in my server here, which you can join. The IP is in the description. I'm in the plot world, just tinkering around, trying to mess with stuff. This is the original idea for this build. I actually built this mountain with World Edit and Voxel Sniper, and I think it looks all right. I think it looks pretty cool, but I'm way happier with what we have now. But obviously, let me know in the comments what you think. And just to show you my craziness, here's one variant. I won't show you inside because it's a spoiler. Here's one version. 2 versions, 3 versions, 4 versions, 5 versions of interiors, none of which make me happy. So I'm gonna keep tinkering here in creative mode, and I just downloaded Axiom, which, by the way, absolutely crazy mod. I wish I learned about it sooner, because this is freaking nuts. Look at this. You press like enter. Oh no, you press this. I don't know how it works, but it's really cool. And I've been using it to make these weird like candle helixes and stuff like that. But anyway, this is kind of getting off topic. So how about we jump back into the survival world here, and I show you hopefully some progress, and I'll let you know how much longer it took. Well, I'm still not done, and since I'm almost out of time, it's probably about that time that I start procrastinating. So I thought, what would go well outside of this super dark, spooky, edgy, emo-ish build? A duck which swims back and forth in front of the bridge here. I had a good time figuring out how to make this. It was really funny. And it's probably now my favorite part of this build. Anyway, back to the interiors. Hey everyone, just a quick little note here that the world download is available right now for YouTube members. I upload it after every single upload to the members section of my YouTube channel. So if you want to get your hands on it, that's where it is. Okay, well, I've done the walls, the pillars, the ceilings, and the fancy little arches, and I can't wait to show them to you. But first, let's get this floor and map area in. Oh man, where do the hours go? Slight note here, I kind of messed up my mic settings, recorded a bunch of stuff about developing more things here, and it all got wiped because the mic was off or something, or the sound wasn't right. I'm having a bit of trouble with my audio, so I hope that everything sounds good now and that I sound a little bit better. This video has been a little bit wonky. Anyways, so a lot has changed here. Let's talk about it. Let's start with the ceiling here. There are 3 types of arches. We have these sort of more triangular ones, archy ones, and then these corner, more organic ones. I really tried to do like what I've seen from cathedrals and big, imposing, domey places like this. And it's kind of hard to do on this scale in Minecraft. I should have gone bigger. Should have made this place a lot bigger. We also have this floor, which I'm not actually sold on just yet. I think I might go back and redo it once more, maybe after this video is done, but we're making some progress. Now, as with every big project like this, when you spend a certain amount of hours working on it, you kind of want to move on and do something else and leave it half done. And I'm definitely guilty of this, but not today. No, we're going to finish the inside and we're going to finish the map. I'm going to show you all that cool stuff. That's probably even going to be the best part of the video, is the big reveal here. But now we're going to take a little break and we're going to work on the outside, because this outside doesn't look super duper great. You can see I moved the boat up. Here's our duck, and I even put some little wake in his path of this boat because I thought that was neat. Anyways, we need to add some trees and stuff out here to make this build look a little bit more real. Right now, it still kind of just looks like superimposed into the water here. So maybe building a few trees will help. Let's find out. Oh, that is awesome. Sorry, I'm really excited. Okay, you guys gotta understand, you spend 100 hours on a build, you start to go a little bit insane. It takes forever, and then the editing too. I gotta listen to my voice and see the same things over and over. I'm going crazy, but I'm really happy with how it's turning out so far. So I think these trees, they did the trick. They really made the outside tie together. I've also leafed up the top here a little bit. And yeah, I spruced up the ground with some bone meal and such. All very important elements, if you ask me. And now that it's done, I think the island is kind of finally looking pretty complete. I still have some waves to do, but really, like, it's the backside. Who cares, right? But yeah, it is looking really, really cool. I am so freaking happy with how this is turning out. And I love our little duck up front and the boat and everything. I think this place is just looking really special, and really, really special. And I really wanted it to. I spent a long time overthinking this build, I think, because I really wanted to make it special as a 25k monument. It means the world to me. Like, genuinely, when I started this channel and I was making those like piddly little Let's Plays, I was genuinely, like, my aim was 100 views. And I was like, man, if I could get like a little community of like-minded people going and we could just talk about builds and survival and stuff, it would be awesome. and I never thought it would grow into all this, so I'm really happy. Anyways, okay, that's enough. That's enough of that. Let's get back to the real stuff here, the meat and potatoes. Let's get this map rolling. Something really cool about doing these maps is you actually really get to explore the area around the map, which is probably really obvious, but what's really fun... Oh! Perfect. No one saw that. Did that perfectly there. What's really cool is that I'm actually finding a bunch of sites which are super inspiring and are making me want to build everywhere around here, which is awesome. I did have a few areas lined up that I talked about earlier in the video, like that little hillside over there and stuff. But imagine this area, like, okay, I know I've done a lot of underground stuff in the last few years, and it's really my bread and butter. It's my jam. I love digging giant holes and building stuff underground. I think that's always going to be like my main fun in Minecraft. But part of Minecraft and part, I think, of life and art and whatever is growing your style and trying new things. And this is going to be the area where I mainly try new things, I think. This is where, like, big, weird stuff's going to happen. Big builds, big castles, big bridges, big everything, big stuff. How many times can I say big in a sentence? Anyway, so I've been going around and I've been mapping out the map here. It's been a little bit dull, I'm not gonna lie. And the main problem with this map room that I'm having right now is that most of the stuff around here is an ocean. Shocker, right? No, I know it's pretty obvious that it would have been all ocean, but I really thought we'd get more like land masses and islands and stuff. So maybe when we're done filling this out, I'm gonna take another little look at it and I'm gonna say, hey, maybe we 2x the zoom here to make them bigger, and then I get to start all over. But first we gotta finish. I've done about a quarter. I'm working on the other quarter, and it's looking pretty cool. Look what happens if I turn on the shaders. Pretty neat, right? And of course, we still have to do the walls and stuff. There's still a lot of things to do in here. But getting this map in is going to feel really good. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I'll check back in with you guys when that's done. I'm discovering my own world here. So this is the edge of one of the maps, and that looks really cool and fun over there. And look what's over there. It's the end portal. I didn't even think that these two were that close, actually. Like, I knew they were in a similar area, but let me show you how close it is. So that's it over there, just out of render, right? And if I fly out this way for like a few rockets, we'll start to see some other familiars, such as the Pirate Cove over there. And one more rocket, maybe it should render. This is a little bit long. Man, I wish I had the Distant Horizons mod working. Anyway, and there is our island. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate. This woodland mansion won't make it into the map, but it is good to know that it's there. I had no idea. And there probably is some good stuff in there still. I haven't looted one, I think, in this world yet, so I'll definitely go in there and grab some stuff later. Well, I owe all of you a big old apology because I once again did a bunch of stuff off camera. So this time, well, for one, I turned shaders back on for a minute here just because I really like the sunbeams in builds. Like, man, if default Minecraft had this, I would never need shaders. This is #1 reason for shaders. It is so cool. But anyways, that's a bit of a sidestep there. I've added a lot of stuff, as you can see. I've added some lanterns, some crystal-y bits, some bookcases everywhere, and I wanted to do kind of like a weird, nonsensical bookshelf place, kind of like this was like a magic place, I guess. I always fall back to that, the magic stuff. I guess I really like that. Here it is. Without shaders. I think it looks pretty good without it too. But of course, we don't get the sunbeams. I did add clouds too. I'm rambling. I haven't talked to anyone in days. I've just been doing the map and building and stuff and going nuts. But yeah, I realized the video didn't have clouds for like the whole thing. So here we go. We got clouds back. But anyways, the map is completed. I'm super duper happy. Let's turn shaders back on here for this bit. The map is completed. Lots of water, lots of potential spots that we could build on. And that is going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, consider liking. This is actually probably the longest it's ever taken me to make a video. Like, the insane amount of hours to edit and design and build this really took a toll on me. And I did have some unfortunate news throughout the creation, so it did take a bit longer than I expected. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.